problems. That guy, he just has to touch you once.
Shit's going down.
He's so different than anybody else in the division. Like, he knocks everybody out. Everybody hits hard. They all hit hard.
Well, he
but
putting
that
shit
fucking
down.
dude hits hard.
Full set that Jake Paul can come 15-20% in regards to Anthony Joshua. He's a completely different specimen. Look, you'll see what it looks like when they stand next to each other.
Joe Rogan has weighed in on Anthony. Joshua's fierce new preparation routine for a potential clash with Jake Paul, and his reaction speaks volumes. After seeing leaked clips of Joshua ripping through drills with explosive speed and working alongside elite trainers, Rogan described the former heavyweight king as downright terrifying. He warned that Paul may have finally signed up for a fight he can't talk his way around, with Joshua appearing sharper, faster, and far more ruthless than he has in years. Rogan believes the bout could end violently and in a hurry if Paul decides to go through with it.
Need to get stronger.
The proposed Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul showdown is slated to be a fully regulated professional heavyweight contest fought under traditional Queensberry rules. The bout is scheduled for 8 3-minute rounds, with both men wearing 10-ounce gloves. One major stipulation: Joshua cannot weigh more than 245 pounds at the official win, cap intended to keep the matchup within reason. The result will go directly onto each fighter's pro record. No circus, no exhibition.
Professional bout. This is going on people's records. AJ gotta take him serious, because this isn't some exhibition. We're running out some judges to act like there's a decision and someone won. No, someone's gonna win, someone's gonna lose here. It's 8 rounds, 3-minute rounds. Again, heavyweight pro bout, 10-ounce gloves. AJ talking about breaking internets over faces. I think he meant to say breaking his face on the internet. Who knows? Maybe you can do both in the big 2025. But then you have the weight limit, 245 pounds, and people are automatically gonna go, oh God, here's the thing. Oh, here's the thing in the contract. No, stop all that. And I'm gonna go on a rant in a second for all the people that thought this was fake, for all the people that thought that Jake wouldn't do this, for all the people that thought he was scared. I'm gonna go on that rant in a second. But, okay, yes, 245 is a weird number because Jake has already fought at heavyweight. He fought Mike Tyson at 220-something. But again, I understand it a little bit. We're on short notice here. You don't wanna have a Tyson Fury type situation, which AJ would never be 290 coming in here. But 260, 270, it starts to get out of the realm of possibility of like, what are we doing here? Even though heavyweight has no limit, I get it.
Nisa Badarian, the CEO of Most Valuable Promotions and Jake Paul's primary representative, told Sky Sports that the December 19th event with Joshua is shaping up to be a global blockbuster. He admitted that Joshua's skill and resume eclipsed Paul's ass, but insisted Paul's unshakable self-belief could tilt the narrative. Badarian framed the pairing as a cultural collision and noted that negotiations were fast-tracked, squeezing months of planning into a short window to lock the deal in. He also emphasized that strict weight limits and full professional standards are in place to guarantee a legitimate, high-risk fight. Badarian even claimed this is a more balanced matchup than Joshua's recent bout with Francis Ngannou, arguing that although Ngannou was enormous, his lack of deep boxing experience made that contest lopsided, whereas Paul has rapidly developed his technique and gained the ring. IQ to make this meeting far more competitive.
Will there be a limit for Joshua?
So there's a lot of discussion around the weight. Joshua fought Usyk twice. Both of those times, Usyk was 221 pounds. Joshua was 240 to 245. When Jake fought Mike Tyson last year, 227 pounds. I expect Jake will come in anywhere between 225 and 230, and Anthony Joshua has a weight limit of 245 pounds.
There will be those, as you're aware, that will look at it and criticise this fight. There already have been, haven't there? They'll say it's a real mismatch. What would you say to them? Are we going to be watching sport at its purest?
I would say it's much less of a mismatch than what you saw with AJ and Francis Ngannou, who a massive man, but relatively no boxing experience. I would say it's much less of a mismatch than AJ's 9th or 10th fight against guys who've been knocked out 20 to 25 times. Given AJ's pedigree, Jake is built for this. Jake is built for the big moments. So do I think it's dangerous for Jake Paul? Absolutely. Do I think it's also dangerous for Anthony Joshua? 100%.
Analysts believe Jake Paul is gambling with his safety by agreeing to face Joshua. Former cruiserweight title holder Lawrence Okolie warned that as Joshua's size and punching power make the fight genuinely dangerous for Paul. Likewise, two-time world champion David Benavidez bluntly stated that Paul is stepping into a trap. Given Joshua's years of top-tier experience and his ability to punish even small mistakes,
I give 100% respect to Jake Paul, but that's a dangerous fight for him. He probably gets knocked out, and I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm not saying nothing bad, but Anthony Joshua is Anthony Joshua. You know, he's multiple-time champion, Olympic gold medalist. You know what I mean? The last time somebody stepped in the ring with him that didn't have that much boxing experience was Ngannou, and you've seen what happened to him. But big respects to Jake Paul. It's gonna be a good card. You know what I mean? It's a big fight. And it's a good fight, man. I give 100% respect to Jake Paul for even taking that fight.
The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch only on DAZN.
Carl Froch has criticized Anthony Joshua's decision to take the Jake Paul fight, suggesting that AJ is effectively cashing out, and he's not wrong to question it. Froch argues that Joshua, having already made a fortune and tasted championship glory, seems more motivated by money than by legacy at this point. Given his financial security, Froch feels Joshua has little left to prove in traditional boxing and is instead choosing the easiest route with a high-paying crossover matchup.
What else have we got to consider? Is AJ cashing out? Well, I did say a year ago when he got splattered by Daniel Dubois that he's finished now. He won't get that confidence back. He's not had any confidence, you know, in his head. No belief for a long time. And I don't think he can get back to world level. There's a couple of new young guns now coming up and coming through. It's like a changing of the guard. And when Usyk retires, I don't know what Daniel Dubois is going to do next, but what Daniel Dubois did to him, then he went on and lost to Usyk. But there's a few new heavyweights coming through, Moses Atama, just to mention one. And you wouldn't start putting AJ in with any of these young up-and-comers that can punch hard, because I just don't think he's got the chance, because the ambition and the desire is going to be gone. So AJ most definitely is cashing out, and you can't fault him. Fair play to him. He's going to get a massive payday, maximise his exit route by fighting fake Paul.
Carl Froch has taken aim at Joshua's decision to pursue a fight with Jake Paul, calling it a sign that Joshua is cashing in rather than chasing greatness. Froch argues that Joshua, already wealthy and decorated, seems more interested in the payday than in enhancing an already secure legacy. With little left to prove in the traditional boxing landscape, Froch believes Joshua opted for a lucrative crossover bout instead of a demanding challenge.
Do you think he can win?
I think it's a possibility. No one is backing Jake Paul currently. You've seen him in the ring, you can see that he's got some knockout power. And I also believe people don't look at Joshua's last few fights. And I don't think it's going to be as big of a landslide as people feel. I feel like there's an overhand right that could easily land, and I wouldn't predict that Joshua's chin can last that. The problem is that all of the pressure's on Joshua at the moment. So Jake Paul, if he gets knocked out in 12 seconds, he should get knocked out. The problem is, as soon as Joshua starts taking damage, all of a sudden he's thinking, the world is watching me. I'm a professional fighter and I'm getting beat off a YouTuber. All of the pressure is on Joshua, and that's a lot that can weigh on a man. You can't deny that Jake Paul has power. I think it's one of his only attributes. I think he's a very poor boxer, but what he does have is a weird technique where you don't know what
he's got power. How do we know he's got power?
He's knocked people out. Joshua has all of the world looking at him thinking you should walk him over. If it gets 2 rounds, 3 rounds inside, I think Joshua loses.
Despite the odds, a segment of fans genuinely believes Jake Paul can topple Anthony Joshua, and they're putting their faith in Paul's power, although often dismissed because of his social media origins. Paul has proven he can punch, having dropped or finished multiple opponents with a single shot. Tyson Fury even predicted Paul could flatten Joshua, citing Paul's increasing size and heavyweight strength. Paul himself continues to claim that Joshua's chin is fragile, and that a perfectly timed punch could end the fight instantly.
can't judge Anthony Joshua for getting the bag, as the kids say, for going to wherever the fight's going to take place and taking $92 million for going up against Jake Paul, right? You can't give him for that. You can't judge him for that. But don't try and tell me that this is a real professional boxing contest. I'm saying my guess is that this will be an exhibition matchup. And if it is, it'll be one hell of a show. And I'll certainly tune in. And fair play to both men because they're making an absolute goddamn killing. But what is going on? Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. It's a lose-lose for Joshua. It's a win-win for Jake Paul.
The matchup is being painted as a modern David versus Goliath tale. Jake Paul, who built his fame online and has mostly competed at lower weights, is stepping up to face Anthony Joshua, a towering ex-champ with overwhelming physical and technical advantages. Joshua embodies Goliath's strength and stature, while Paul is betting on grit, drive, and unwavering belief to shrink the gap.
The problem for Anthony Joshua is his activity. He's only fought twice in 2 years, and one of them he got knocked out off Daniel Dubois. That was his last fight, and a lot of people say you can only judge a fighter's quality from their last fight. And then the fight before that was a win, but it was a win against Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou, if you know, he was the UFC heavyweight who's not a real boxer, and he only had one fight before that boxing fight, what he lost as well. So that's his activity in boxing. Now, Jake Paul, on the other hand, looking at his box rec, he's had 6 fights since 2023. And one of them was against Mike Tyson. But we all seen what happened in that fight. Mike Tyson was well past his prime. Where Anthony Joshua, on the other hand, is, well, I'm not going to say he's coming into his prime because he had some great wins earlier on in his career before he lost to Usyk twice. And by the way, when he did lose to Usyk, the last one was a split decision. It was a pretty close fight. So now this fight is matched. And I just want to look at the tail of the tape. Now, looking at the age difference, we've got 28 years old compared to 36 years old. So I guess the advantage there goes a little bit towards Jake Paul. 28-year-old is better than a 36-year-old. But that being said, we've got talking about experience and everything else, what comes with being 36 years old at Anthony Joshua's level. And then, like I mentioned, the heavyweights kind of seem to prime a little bit older. They'll come down to the height and the weight. This is the big one. 6'1" versus 6'6". 200 pounds versus 252 pounds. We got a 252-pounder in Anthony Joshua. The reach advantage is a lot, which we would expect. Amateur fights, we can see that Jake's only had one, where AJ's had 43, but 43 of them are included at the highest level, Olympic level. And yes, he won the Olympic bloody gold medal, if I don't need to remind you. Now, in the pro record, Jake Paul has had 13 fights, lost 1. AJ has had 28 fights, and he's lost 4 with 25 KOs.